Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whalenerds podcast. This is episode number 14.
Woohoo!
I have Eric and Katlyn here.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Slater, and I'm pretty sure we all had like a freaking phenomenal week this past week.
Heck yeah.
You guys cheated. You had a good week while I was on vacation.
What do you guys want to talk about first? Let's have Katlyn talk about her trip,
Okay.
and then we'll talk about all our trips.
I don't want.
What? Do you want to say for a whole nother podcast?
No, I forgot. I was with you for a cool trip.
Stop.
I was looking at my list of things to talk about. I was like, this is disappointing compared to what you guys are going to talk to. Where'd you go, Katlyn?
I went to Baja, and I'm sick, so I sound real nice today. So I pet a whale, guys.
What?
Twice.
And how did it feel?
You're right. I thought I was gonna poke through the skin. It was weird. It was like kind of squishy.
Did you touch a barnacle?
No.
Dang, see, it's in the moment. You just think about like touching it real quick, and that's it.
Okay, I also have short arms, so I couldn't really
When you go to Baja, take
whale.
longer arms, guys. Remember that. Take longer arms.
I didn't have a camera strap on my camera, and I thought I was gonna drop it in.
I did, but only like the around the neck one, and I was like, "Ooh, I should have a hand strap on this thing. This is scary."
So was I right? Did it feel like a hard-boiled egg to you?
Yeah, that okay.
Like a little
I
rougher
need
though, right? Maybe.
a little bit. This calf that I touched was actually pretty smooth, but my sister was like, when she touched it, she's like, I kind of poked it, and I thought I was gonna go through its skin because it like plucked its head up right by her, and she was like, "Wah!"
She's getting escorted out of the lagoon, poking a hole in the gray whale.
Well, don't you think they'd all have so many holes in them after that?
Yeah,
That's why they have all those little bumps on their roster. What are those, by the way? Do you guys know?
Those are hair follicles. There's like a little
dimples?
hair at the dimple, yeah. Especially when you look at it closely
There's
at
like
the calves.
you can really see them before they get like
Yeah.
barnacles and stuff near them.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's weird. I just thought about it. They're like almost like reverse tubercles instead of
Yeah,
being.
they like go inward.
Yeah.
Because there is hairs all over the face, but like.
Yep.
So are humpbacks up close like that too? Hairs all over the face?
Yeah.
Yeah, just inside
closely
the
at your
tubercles,
photos,
the
yeah.
bumps on their head.
I might look at the ones from today.
You stop it.
All right, tell us. What else did you
Okay,
do?
okay.
Oh, you saw bones. I didn't get to go to any little boneyards.
Oh yeah, there was just like bones everywhere. Also, just like
cool.
walking around.
And you were
There's,
at Kujima, right?
Yeah, so we flew into La Paz and we drove for an entire day
How many
to
hours?
San Ignacio. It was my family didn't arrive till 1, and we stopped in Santa Rosalia after it'd been dark for a couple hours because we couldn't go all the way to San Ignacio. It was too far. And then it was like another hour to get there. So it was like probably 10 hours total driving.
Dang.
Yeah,
Mine's
it takes
only
a lot
3
longer than
hours.
you think it's going to. Like, the map will say 7 hours, but, like, no, dude, it takes 10. Like, there's so many trucks on the road. It's hilly. It's windy. You're going to want to, like, stop and take
Yeah, it was
photos.
pretty windy, the road I was
eat.
on. I'm sure we were on the
Yeah.
same road for most of it. Because I
Yeah.
just pulled off
Yeah,
early.
Highway 1. Yeah.
I always warn people who do the drive down there, even for a short drive, you know, in Baja, especially the rural parts closer towards like San Ignacio and stuff like that, to don't drive at night. Just, you know, drive in the daytime at least.
You know why you don't want to drive at night? It's
Cows.
not a safety thing. It's freaking, there's cows in the middle of the road with no warning.
Yep. Cows.
Yeah, I think there's signs everywhere that say cows
Yeah,
crossing.
there are.
Vacas.
After about like
Vacas.
the 5th or 6th, like close animal on the road, and then a cow straight up walking down the middle of the highway, we were like, okay, we gotta pull off in the nearest town and ask for a hotel.
Was it just you and your family driving?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was me driving. After a cow came walking down the highway and I was going really fast, I was like, yeah, we gotta get off this road.
So cows, narrow roads, semi trucks. Yeah.
So I was in a van, a guided, like we had a bunch of vans with us, or 2 vans.
Yeah. But we got to San Ignacio a day later than we thought. But the people at Kujima were super cool. They credited, like, the night that we missed and the trip that we missed towards other days. So, like, it all shook out in the end, and it was perfect. The weather was pretty windy most of the time. Actually, like, there was a little window in the middle of the day 2 days where it backed off. But even what you see, like, where you're loading on the Panga at camp is not what it's like out where the whales are. And it's only, like, a 15-minute boat ride. And you're like,
What do you mean? It felt like it was calm where you loaded the boat at?
Yeah, like the last
that's how
trip.
it was for us too.
Yeah, the last trip we went on, it was like flat calm by the Pangas, and we were like, oh, sweet, yeah, let's get one more trip in before we go home. And we got out to the whales, and it was so rough we couldn't even get there. I was like, oh my god, what did we do?
So were they technically in the lagoons, or were they like outside of it?
most of the time they were in the lagoon, and they were in like the border area where they have to stop and ask for permission to go inside the reserve. There was a few times where there was whales like further in from the reserve, and you're not supposed to watch them when they're further inside, I guess, is what one of the captains told me.
Yeah.
But the second day, they started to move further out towards the open ocean, and one of the captains was like, this is the time. That means they're leaving soon. The moms are getting the babies ready to go in the open ocean. And then the third day, they were like they were in the bar, like in the bar crossing, rolling around. We still got really friendly whales, but it was like, we're also surfing.
So your first trip, you didn't have friendlies?
No, we had whales like come close to the boat a couple times, but we didn't like pet them.
Because you weren't splashing.
Maybe.
You need a splash.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, the other boat was splashing and we weren't, and we were getting so
I don't know,
buttered.
it was interesting. Like, some boats were like crinkling an empty water bottle under the surface, and some boats were splashing. Some were like singing to the whales. I was like,
You saw people singing the whales?
yeah, the captain.
I was singing to whales yesterday.
He was like, Bayanita, Bayanita. I was like,
Well,
what?
one year we actually had a lady on another ponga. We saw her. She was hanging overboard. Her face was like 4 inches from the water, and she was like yelling at the whales.
Oh,
And then my crew was like, hey, Eric, try it. I kid you not. I did it. I started making random sounds in the water, and more
You stuck your head in the water and was blowing
like
bubbles?
like 4 inches away from the water. I didn't stick my head in the water, but the whales started spy hopping around us. It was pretty funny.
oh, weird.
Yeah, so I thought that weirdo was weird, but
You thought that
it actually kind of worked. And I looked like the weirdo after that, but
Yeah, I don't
kinda
know.
spy hops.
It was interesting to see all the things, because at one point there was also like some adults that were like courting each other, and like when we came over and we were like, whoa, they like stopped, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if did we screw that up, or like were they done?
What he done?
Yeah. So that was kind of weird, but it was definitely really cool. Like, oh my god, it's just crazy like how they're staring at you.
What?
This big eye, this gray whale eye is just
I didn't really see the eye.
staring at you. It's insane. Like, even when they weren't friendly, like, they would just like pick their head up and look at you, and you're like, oh.
You got some spy hops in?
Yeah, but also the calves just like throw their head up when they're close to the boat so they can look at you, and it's like, oh my god, like, that's crazy.
Did you have them like on one side of the boat, like to the other, like tail out one side and head on the other?
Yeah.
So crazy how big they are.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the moms, like, you don't really appreciate how big a gray whale is until you have an adult one next to you.
Yep, when they're that close to you, you realize it. Did they swim
I've-
under you?
Yeah.
Did they lift you?
No, but
Did they do bubbles
thought,
under you?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you could feel the bubbles. I felt the bubbles. They were going.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and at one point, one of the calves did open its mouth, and this girl next to me who was like closer and could actually like see what was happening was like, do I touch it? And I was like, you can touch it, and then it closed its mouth and went down.
But she puts her hands there, closes it, and goes down.
Very funny.
Yeah, it'd be cool to touch Baleen or something. I know that some people like even touch the tongue and stuff, right? Like you scrub the tongue or something.
Yeah,
Yep.
I guess they say they like it.
Yeah.
Like, if you rub their tongue. We had this one mom and calf pair 2 days in a row that were super friendly. The mom has like a very circular mark behind her blowhole on the right side, so she's pretty recognizable, and her calf was really fun. Like, always rolling around, always all around the boats. Would go to multiple boats. If there's like 3 boats waiting, it would like take turns with the boats.
You know what's funny is
awesome.
I think that we had the same scenario where it was like the same calf 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
And they said, and actually the calf had like some prop marks on it. And they were like this. They seemed that this whale like loves to go to the boats. Like, and it's like the same whale they've been seeing for like a week, going to all the boats. So I wonder if that's like kind of the same thing. You know? Just
maybe.
loves boats or something.
Yeah, I think some are extra friendly.
And then, like, so the last day when it was, like, really rough, what made the trip, because we almost, like, I told the captain, I was like, can we go back closer towards the entrance of the lagoon, because it's way too rough out here and there's no whales. And a whale on our way back in started breaching. And so we stopped to watch it, and it was a mom. I don't know what she was trying to get the calf to do. The calf never, like, the calf would swim fast, but, like, she was just breaching over and over and over again, and the calf was just sitting there.
Probably trying to get away from the calf from feeding.
Like, pay attention. And so we stopped and watched that, and just like that, the wind let off. And so then we were able to stay out for, like, the rest of the time that we were allowed in the reserve, and then we went in.
Was it, like, breaking waves coming through there?
Yeah, out towards the,
Like, we had to get out past the waves, like, and then we could start whale watching again. Because, like, we were first watching whales and, like, right near the lagoon, like, and then we had to go out past the waves because they were like literally about to break over our panga.
Yeah, we didn't go out past the waves, but like there's like a channel. There's like 2 spots where the bar breaks on both sides, and then in the channel it's not as bad. So we just kind of had to navigate our way around that. But yeah, it was pretty insane. I mean, it was amazing to see huge whales in such a small boat.
What else did you see other than gray whales?
Bottlenose dolphin every single trip. Sometimes like friendly with the boat, which was really cool. Lots of feeding. Good seabirds. We saw, I think even maybe a Pomeranian Jaeger. We saw a really big one sitting on the water. Really beautiful bird. Terns, pelicans. I saw frigate birds, but only like driving around La Paz. And coming back down Highway 1. Once we got like south of Laredo, we started seeing them like anytime there was a big bird soaring overhead. Cool. Half the time it was like a frigate bird.
And you saw parasitic Jaegers, right?
Yes, parasitic, and I think a Pomeranian too.
So frigates and Jaegers are both kleptos, right?
Frigates are skimmers.
Oh yeah, they skim. I forgot.
Yeah.
Never
we
mind,
walked through the mangroves, which that was cool.
I don't know why I thought that.
And like from the Koyima camp, if you walk towards the mangroves, like to the northwest, I guess is the direction they are. There's a whale skeleton outside the camp and a turtle shell. There's actually a couple turtle shells as you're walking around. And then there's a gray whale skeleton there on the beach, and it looks like a pretty big adult. Those ribs are pretty big. The skull's pretty deteriorated, so it's kind of hard to tell how big the head was, but the ribs are big and the mandible's big. So that's pretty cool to be able to just like walk up and be like, well, there's a giant whale skeleton.
Were those
here.
ospreys still everywhere around the camp?
Yes, yeah, and they had chicks.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
there are
it's really
pigeons
cool.
over there.
Oh,
Everywhere.
did you see the other bird? What is it? Cara?
Yes, we did.
You
They're
saw
cool.
Cara?
We saw 3.
They're like they
home.
kind of look like ospreys / something else.
Yeah,
right?
it's like kind of. I was like, "Is that an eagle?" And then because I saw the
they're
yellow,
big.
and I was like, "What the heck?" And yeah, we saw him like 3 times driving south from San Ignacio to La Paz.
That's
on
awesome.
our way home, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's
Yeah,
a
there's
Cara."
people who take trips just to see those guys, and
Yeah.
it's cool you saw those.
I mean, we were trying to hustle to like get to La Paz before dark, but I wish we would have pulled. There's also not really a good spot to pull off on the side of the road.
Yeah.
when you see him.
Yeah,
to
that's
take
where I
pictures.
saw him was a whole drive. She
Yeah.
kept pointing him out,
Yeah.
and then like I didn't take any pictures though.
And once we got towards San Ignacio, oh my gosh, everything was so green. And the
Oh,
cactus
wow.
were about to start blooming. They had all their little buds on them. It was like, it definitely had been raining. It was.
And
really
how was
pretty.
that drive from the actual town of San Ignacio to the lagoon? Is that road fully paved now or kind of
No,
paved?
it's paved. The last 30 minutes of the drive is unpaved, but actually
Okay.
quite a bit of it was paved. I was surprised.
Did any of it look washed out? Because I know sometimes the flooding and the rains really get crazy over there.
Not from town to camp, but like the rest of Highway 1. But they did a really good job of patching it. It was in a lot better shape than I thought it was going to be. Like northern Baja last year was worse than all of that Highway 1 in southern Baja. It was actually not bad at all.
Good.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we felt pretty safe. We went through only like 1 military checkpoint. And
Oh, you did?
yeah, only
Wow.
1. Yeah, and it was no big deal. And like
Well, they just asked where you were going.
yeah. And
Same with
they were-
us.
Well, I told him we were going to San Ignacio, and the sun was like already setting, and the guy looked at me like, "Good luck."
Yeah.
And then we stopped in another town to stay the night. So
Yeah, I've had full blown searchers get out of the car, open this and that. But
yeah,
that's
he
good.
opened the trunk and like just looked at 2 backpacks, and then was like, "Okay, you're good. See ya."
Cool.
I was like, "Oh, thanks."
I think when you say you're going whale watching, they know what's going on.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you guys are whale crazy. All right, you're not up to any weird shenanigans." So yeah, it was good. It was the camp. The tents were really sturdy. It was really windy at night, and it was noisy because of that. But the tents were like really weatherproof, which was nice.
And I heard you got an updated cow-calf count, right?
Yeah, there was 21 pairs when we got there, and probably another 10 to 15 single whales. And this year, there was a lot of whales that looked really thin, which is a little bit concerning.
Yeah.
Actually, the researchers were there that had been working in both Scammons Lagoon and San Ignacio. And the Sunday before we got there, or I guess that day when we were flying in, they filmed live with BBC from Scammons Lagoon. And they interviewed one of the researchers who was finishing up her work in San Ignacio when we were out at the camp, and she was staying at the camp too. So she like let us watch the episode with her because she wanted to show the boat crew before they
cool.
left. Because it
That's
didn't
cool.
air live in Mexico. So she wanted to, they let her record it. And then she got to screen it for them. And we were in there eating dinner. She's like, you guys want to hang out and watch it? We were like, yeah, sure. So
cool.
that was really cool. Yeah. She doesn't have a conclusive answer as to why the whales look so skinny. But it's probably related to oceanographic changes the last few years. I mean, we had the warm water blob. We have remnants of an El Nino, and that's not unusual. In the 98-99 El Nino, the following year in 2000, there was a lot of whales that looked really thin and then actually stranded during the northbound migration. But the population recovered. It's kind of a normal fluctuation thing, so we'll see what happens. But we saw some really thin whales. You could see like behind the blowhole, it was like caved in, and then you could see their spine, which was kind of sad. And it sounded like they'd been seeing whales trying to feed in the lagoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
From the drone, I saw like mud flumes from them, like, and I saw one of the whales let it go to their mouth. But I also saw the calf let mud go out of her mouth too, or here.
Yeah, they said they've seen some of the adults trying to feed, which is like.
And seeing skinny whales kind of gives me an idea maybe why we're having so many whales. Like LA Harbor, Long Beach area is having those whales actually spend some time in the harbor, eating. So.
Yeah,
well, might be running thin this year, and they need some food.
One of the skippers out of Santa Cruz also said he's seen the same gray whale feeding off of Capitola for like a week. So
yeah, they named it already too. They call it Cappy, right? Yeah.
Cappy the gray
whale. We're so
whale.
quick to name whales.
And then San Francisco Bay has also had numerous gray whales hanging out in there.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Whoa! What if the gray whales are at their capacity and they're just going to start being residents all throughout like the West Coast?
That'd be cool.
Could that happen?
I'd be okay with it.
I mean, I guess they say there's just not enough nutrients in the water or in the like mud here, but.
Well, the other day I was at the ACS San Francisco meeting. I talked to one of the gentlemen from Golden Gate, and I was asking him, "Hey, have you kind of tried to ID those gray whales inside the bay? Because I'm just wondering maybe if our Pacific Coast feeding group is expanding southwards, which there's talk that they are. You know, not just Oregon whales like we used to assume.
Yeah, that could be a thing as well.
Oh no, gray whales year round.
What are you gonna do? Oh my gosh. Well,
Now we're gonna be passing gray whales and humpbacks to get to more humpbacks.
Well, I'm glad you had a good trip. I think I'm going to go back next March. Hopefully the whales will still be there when I get there.
We should all go together.
I know. I want to go to the other lagoons now, just to
Whalenerds
kind of like
podcast
see what it's like.
Baja trip.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Scammons has been really a fun trip for me, so that's a lagoon you should definitely try.
Yeah, and you know what? I applaud the Taylor family. They were really hardy, and they said they would do it again. So that's a good sign for me. Is like even the not diehard whale nerds were like, yeah, we can do it again after long car rides and long flights home. And my mom just cracked me up the whole trip. Like, you guys know how I'm like, oh, wow, this is awesome, like, about everything. My mom walking on the beach every 10 feet. Wow, look at this shell. Wow, look at this shell. Like, for 2 hours, we're walking on the beach, and every 5 feet, my mom's like, oh, my God, look at this. Oh, my God, look at this. I was like, well, this must be where I get it from. So that was pretty
Was it just whale bones that you saw, or was there other bones?
Well, there's lots of other like little bones just everywhere.
Turtle shells.
And turtle shells, yeah. And then the beaches are covered in shells, like just everywhere. And there's all these piles of shells too.
Yeah,
like, what's that about?
The pile of they actually did have a shellfish industry there, so that's why you'll see piles of shells in the middle of nowhere out in the desert. The fresh, clean shells are actually piles of shells from the shellfishmen. But that area, especially further inland, you might, when you were in Kahima, you might have heard about the land tours they do. Yeah. There's actually there were a lot of natives in that area, and some of those piles that are more older shells that are kind of not flat and there'd be high piles are actually middens. They're actually like basically a ancient kind of like a landfill. The guys just would eat the shellfish, and they actually threw them in piles and stuff like that.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, some of it, like when on the areas where like the beach is eroding, I'm like, it looks like these piles of shells have been happening for a long time.
And there are a few fossil beds in that area too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see how that. Yeah. There's definitely lots of shells and fun things, like even in the rocks and all that good stuff.
Did you see the La Paz sign in La Paz? Like the letters?
No, but I did see the whale tail with the bird. My parents
went to on the way from the airport.
Yeah. My parents went and took a picture with the La Paz sign after they dropped me off at the airport.
Oh, they did?
It was so nice. But yeah, so it was good. It was fun.
I'm glad that
we all petted a whale.
That's awesome. I'm glad that we've all been there and we can because we always talk about sending people, like telling people they should go do that.
Yeah.
But for like Katlyn and I, we've never done it yet. Yeah. So now we can actually like say, no, you definitely should do that.
Yeah. I always tell people, take that opportunity if you can. If you're thinking about doing it, save up, do it. There's not many places where you can get in this type of interaction with a gray whale.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was really cool. Really cool.
Definitely don't act like that around here. How about those gray whales today, Eric?
Oh, those are gray whales? I saw just blowholes.
We barely even saw their blowholes today.
Wow.
50-foot long animal, I saw like 4 inches of them.
Yeah. I know, seriously, if you think about it, literally like
you're thinking about it. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, huge animal.
We could see them under the surface, though, the whole time. That we could see their glow, the blue glow.
Go, hey, everyone, look at that blue line in the water.
I swear that's a whale.
There's another blue line next to it.
It was actually really blue.
Lines.
It literally was like a blue whale color, huh?
Yeah, it was.
Just the water clarity that we have lately.
Well, I had some good trips before I left, but you guys were just leaving me in the dust while I was gone.
We can start with that trip. Katlyn and I had a bunch of... Did we talk about it before you left?
No. We had lots of northbound gray whales, and the weather was finally really nice.
We've had nice weather every day for we're going to jinx it. It's going to be like a hurricane here.
Well, it's literally raining outside right now.
We've had such nice weather the past 7 days.
Yeah, it was just one of those trips that Slater and I had. It was just so mellow. It was like, oh, there's a couple gray whales. Oh, wait, that's 4 gray whales. And then we got on this other group. We thought maybe it was 3 or 4. Slater put the drone up. It was 7. I was like, oh, shoot.
Yeah, we only saw 1 or 2 at a time. So we were just guessing there might be 2 or 3.
Yeah, and they're just cruising up the coast.
That was really cool to see 7 gray whales together.
Yeah, and then Friday, the next day, we had really good groups of feeding humpbacks all around the bay, outside the bay, big patches of bait, which it sounds like you guys have been seeing since I left. Hundreds of dolphins, lunch feeding humpbacks, and then in the afternoon we actually had some whales hang out with the boat for 30 minutes. We shut the engines off. They weren't spy hopping or anything, but they were laying next to the boat. They were peck slapping, tail slapping, hanging out underneath the boat. We could see them on the depth sounder.
Nice.
We could see them on the depth sounder so good you could see the peck fin too, because it was just sitting there.
You take a picture?
Yeah. I think Danny did.
Oh, cool. I'll ask him for him.
So that was pretty bad.
It's funny how you said that.
Yeah, I want a picture.
And we had lots of dolphins.
Yeah.
And your boy Slater got his first northern right whale picture.
I know. You finally got some good northern right whale dolphins. That was rad.
Okay, you guys. I've seen them before a lot of times, but I've yet to get a photo that I would even post ever.
Yeah, northern right whale dolphins are not easy.
I don't know why they're I make them a big deal. It's just shooting common dolphins.
They're my favorite.
They are kind of a big deal. Well, they're unusual, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a really big deal for me to see them. I've never seen them as their own pod in that many number, that big of a number.
Right.
I've always seen them maybe up to 50 or 60 or 100, but at the most, and they're with whiteside.
I definitely
so they're
think they're a big deal because you always hear me say after the trips, it's one animal that a lot of people don't know exists till they see it themselves. Why the heck doesn't it have a dorsal fin? That's weird.
Yeah, I meant a big deal as in I can't get a photo of it. I always make it this crazy thing, but. Just I don't know.
We're kind of mean to Slater whenever we have northern right whale dolphins. We're like, no, they're on this side. No, they're on that side.
Dude, okay. First off, you guys, it's 90% overcast here in Monterey all the time.
Yeah.
So when it's green water, fully black dolphins, and then it's overcast, there's no sunlight, you can't even see them.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to guess where they're coming up. Now, Rizzo's glow white under the water. You can see where they're coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it makes it nicer.
That was cool. Well,
they did do something that was really cool. Is they stampeded a bunch,
yeah.
And then they would stop and shut off, and then they would book it the opposite direction again.
That's the fun part is when they all get flying out of the water. That's when you really see how they are.
Bait fish or something wants to eat them.
I know. I was just when they all lit up the first time, I was like, please. Like,
please be a killer whale.
Yeah, I was like, it's just gonna come flying out of the middle of them because they seriously, Katlyn, went left, right, like, left again. Like it was crazy. They all went opposite directions, and it's just like reminded me of that one time they did that to the Pacific Whiteside dolphins, where they all fly out at once, and then a killer whale comes out after it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely thought we were gonna have a killer whale right there, but nope.
Cool trips.
Okay, rip the Band-Aid off. Just rub it in.
No, we have more cool trips between then and there.
Okay.
Yeah,
fine.
I saw.
Okay, fine.
I saw a southern sea otter eat a bird.
Yeah.
That's pretty gnarly.
And that's not even his first time seeing it.
No, I've seen it before too. It's
I know.
You have
gnarly.
too?
Yeah.
People are always like, I've never seen it. I've seen it 3 times, and then people are always saying, was it already dead? But one time, right?
They saw it drown it, right?
Yeah, I was right next to Big Fish Grill. I walked out of the office, and where Atlantis usually parks. And I hear a disturbance in the water. I look down, it's an otter like grabbing this grebe, and they had this little battle, and all of a sudden the otter just goes crunch and just bites the head and starts eating it. Yeah, and the other time,
dude, otters are not nice. You guys.
No, they're scary.
People think they're like the cutest little like stuffed animal, but they're not.
No.
But H tier,
I'm more scared of otters
happen.
than I am of anything else.
Yeah, so I seen it at H tier, and then I saw it this last time in Moss Landing. We were coming back in on the high spirits, and we were right in between the 2 walls. We just see this otter dining on a bird, and people are like, "Why are you so excited?" I'm like, "This is rare." And they're like, "You're a sick person."
Yeah.
But I had to kind of explain to them about what was going on and how it was rare, and it does happen.
And you had a good trip that trip too before you came in, right? You had Northern Right Whale dolphins.
Yeah.
I think.
Was that the day?
Oh, you tell them about the photo you texted me, and the date. Northern Right Whale dolphins.
Oh yeah, so that day that Slater had the great Northern Right Whale dolphin sighting. You know how Facebook does that memory thing? A year back.
Exactly a year back. On the
we
same
also had
day.
a great
really
herd of them. Yeah, stampede.
And it was just Northern Right Whale dolphins, right?
Yeah, just Northern Right
How
Whale
weird
dolphins.
is that? Same exact day, a year later.
Okay, so next year.
On the 29th.
Yeah.
Whalenerds. We're looking for Northern
28th.
Right Whale dolphins on March 28th, 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully next year they'll be here, when I get there.
I'm just going to be there already.
What time are they at?
What time are the dolphins
What time
at?
are the Lizzos?
So that kind of made my day when you texted me that, and it was exactly 1 year
Yeah,
later. I love that. Because it's like every year they say you see killer whales on Easter, right? Or something like that.
On the 20th of April.
Yeah.
420.
And then back in Southern California, we had towards off of the Point Vicente and for the Long Beach boats, it seemed like for a few years every January 1st.
Yeah.
Remember the K-Dubs would show up. It was like three years in a row that they showed up or something like that. Yeah, it was really
we
neat.
used to every year we'd go on this excursion to try to find them and
it was like this street.
Then it stopped happening.
Yeah, then it stopped, unfortunately.
But they started going there more frequently too, though. Actually.
Yeah,
at least last year.
You get the 51's a calendar.
Yeah.
Speaking of killer whales.
Yeah, just say it already.
What?
Slater, you start. Tell them how crazy it was.
From start to finish.
From start to
hear the whole
finish.
thing.
Okay, I was sitting down in the galley.
Well, I woke up in the morning.
No, honestly,
breakfast.
okay, we were driving, right? And we were headed north into the bay. And then I just feel the boat flip around. And so I just stood up and walked into the wheelhouse. And then they both said, "What?"
We're just looking at Slater like, nothing's happening.
And
Don't
they're
say
like,
anything.
and Eric's like, "How do you know? Were you standing outside the wheelhouse door?" And I was like, "How do I know what?" I was like, "I just saw JJ reach for the mic the radio, and then push the throttles forward
and make a complete 180.
Yeah, and then Adam was on the boat, and I walked back to Adam, and he's like, "Why are they going so fast? What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, well, they have Dall's porpoise." He's like, "You guys are really gonna go that fast for Dall's porpoise?" And I was like, "Have you even seen them?" And he's like, "Twice." And I was like, "Okay, well, they're really fast, so we gotta catch them."
So you're just making up your own charade.
Yeah. So then I knew, but we didn't know we still didn't know what was going on, right?
Yeah.
So then, we get into the area and we see 1, 2, 3, 4, dorsal fins, right? And then we see another boat kind of break off to the left. They went to some, and they said they had them as well. And then another boat was on the right side of us, and they went to some. And basically, there was a line from how long would you say?
It was probably more than a quarter mile.
Quarter mile of basically killer whales.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, at first, everybody, all of us on the radio, everybody's like, they're like, they look like offshores because of the numbers. They definitely are not transients. They're just, and then like we were just going back and forth. And then we're like, well, the offshores are usually more dark and they're smaller and this. And like, if we were just like, we had no idea what they were. Mm-hmm. And then
saw open saddle patches.
And but then like
we've seen.
I seriously got no saddle patches, like because I think it was just weird because of the little wind chop that like we just weren't getting good ideas, and then like some of the males don't have an open saddle patch, and that's like the main ones we were easy to see, right?
And then we saw male dorsal tips that were very round.
Yeah. And then we ended up getting an ID, from someone, and we saw the southern resident killer whales all the way in Monterey.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to the point where I was like, must not cry in front of friends. Even though I've seen them, it's still, it never gets old. It doesn't matter if it's residents, transients, or offshores. It never gets old.
Long time.
It's more like you never know what you're going to see in Monterey. Like the feeling is just like, it just proves it.
Nat Geo day. Any day.
And we had to, we told the passengers, like, you need to really take this in because you're looking at, literally 1/3 of a population.
You should have saw us on
that might be gone,
I'm sure you guys were just, I can imagine.
No, like, they were on the right? And then they would go down, and then they're like, they're on the left. Another pod is on, like, another portion of it's on the left. And, like, we didn't know what to do. And then, like, one would spy hop on the right, and then we'd all go to that side, and then one would go on the left. And, like, everybody's just missing everything.
But there weren't that many people, which is good.
No, we only had, like, 10 people on the boat.
Yeah, and they all really appreciated it.
Yeah.
We had to, like, really emphasize them. They
you guys are lucky you got to go.
Yeah.
Only 10 people on the boat.
Yeah, there was seriously, like, only 10 or something, huh?
Yeah.
Like 15 at the most.
And one of them actually had friends in Florida, in Washington, and asked them, hey, we're seeing this right now. And friends like, oh, my God. Really?
Yeah. So
you stole our whales.
So they realized how special it was.
And the southern resident orcas that we saw are known as the L pod, which is basically 1/3 of the population of the southern resident killer whales. And I think there's about like 36, right? It's close to 36. I know because they have the new one, L124.
Yeah. So technically almost half the population. And it's pretty impressive. And it was a really, I hope our passengers really got it. I have to really emphasize how special it was and how these animals are something that needs to be of concern to anyone who's concerned about our wildlife out there. And then they're pretty active too, which is great about these reses. What do you remember them doing?
Spy hopping, flipping upside down, slapping their tails. And when I saw the residents in San Juan Islands, they were like every quarter mile, some portion of the pod was spy hopping or like doing something. They're way more active than transients.
Yeah, it sure seems like it.
Yeah, I talked to some people that live in San Juan, and they say that the residents are a lot more active than the transients.
My biggest thing is that thing that leaves you in awe. When we approached them, we were kind of off the point, and they were, coming from the south. I'm just like really wondering how far they went. It's kind of crazy to believe. Like, dude, you never know. They might have hit in LA County or Santa Barbara,
offshore or something.
Yeah, I realized there's no salmon here. Turn around.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's been like since 2011 or 2012 since they've been seen in the bay too.
Yeah, I keep getting different numbers on that. Some people were saying like 2003, but then some people were saying 2011. So.
I know some captains that started as deckhands in the early 2010s, and they saw southern residents.
They did.
Yeah. So, and it was L pod, and maybe part of K pod too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what they said. Yeah.
They're the ones that wander a lot more than J pod, at least historically. We'll see what happens in the future. But
and me and Slater the other day kind of did a little Google mapping. So about 1,000 miles from an area that usually people expect to see them. So it's pretty amazing.
And they go further north and further offshore as well. So.
Yeah. So it was really neat experience and neat kind of like one of those awe moments. It's not just seeing the animals, but to think of the distance they traveled.
Yeah. I seriously wasn't worried about like the photos as much as like I can't believe I'm freaking seeing these whales down here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's one of those take it in moments.
I thought I was gonna have to go to San Juan Islands again too, because last time I was there, I only saw J pod. So I was like,
Yeah. That's incredible. It also speaks to the fact that when they wrote the endangered species listing for this population, that including Monterey Bay is important. Because the whales, here's your proof, the whales do come down here, and their listing includes Monterey as part of their critical habitat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know Slater's been getting a lot of comments on social media about, could it be that these animals have realized, hey,
Oh yeah.
salmon's kind of dwindling up here. Maybe we should travel a little further. And in my opinion, I mean, people were asking me, hey, how did their condition look?
Their body condition.
They all.
I thought they looked healthy.
They all look
as
pretty
heck.
good to me. Even the younger ones look
But
pretty
I don't
healthy.
know the residents that well. But
yeah, we don't see them every day. But to me,
they look pretty healthy.
The regulars up in the, our buddies in the San Juan and Vancouver Island might know better. But to me, they looked pretty.
They were
good.
moving quick.
Yeah, they were moving.
So when I put the drone up when we originally got to them. At first I thought they were offshores,
Mm-hmm.
and then that little one was like I saw the mom and the baby, which was not lucky at the time, the new one, and they were going quick. Like I was keeping it down, like the throttle down, moving.
Drone.
Yeah, they were moving pretty quick. They were headed north. They were out of there.
Yeah, it was neat to see them. That's why at first glance, when we first initially came upon the sign, they were so spread out in a lined up formation that I'm really used to seeing with the offshores. So I was like, But then I realized the dorsals were so clean. None of those.
They don't have those.
The barnacles, the longer. I forgot what they're called, but the type of barnacles always on the
hang off
dorsal.
of
pods?
Yeah. And didn't see those. I remember the encounters of offshores back down south. We always saw that, and then a few came close enough. I was like, okay, open saddle, and then the rounded tips. So
yeah, someone on Instagram asked,
pretty cool.
Do you think their extreme movement patterns are an indicator of poor salmon quantities in their home areas? I mean,
possibly,
but I think they definitely this is what they might do during the time that they leave the Salmon Islands.
We all just happen to be at the right place. Yeah.
And when they used to put satellite tags on them, L-Pod does come south a lot. And I wouldn't say that the California stock of salmon is in any better condition than the Pacific Northwest. If anything, there's less.
Exactly.
So, to me, it's like, I don't think it's entirely based on that.
And it's technically not the salmon that they like, right?
It's Chinook.
They like Chinook.
Yeah,
we get Chinook, the king. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just,
salmon.
our stocks are it's just not the same. You know, California has done so much more different things with its freshwater management than the Pacific Northwest. Just because it's a completely different climate situation, really, as far as the amount of rainfall you get, and there's not. I don't feel like there's as many hatcheries either. So,
one thing we gotta do, guys. So we know that a lot of our faster cetaceans can move 100+ miles a day. Let's pay attention and see when they show back up.
Okay, so
again.
Exactly. Let's
Maya's
find out.
Legacy was just live before I came here to meet with you guys.
Yeah, I saw
and I was in and talking to them. And I wrote, but then they were changing. Their phone was dying, and they were switching lives. But I asked them. I said, "Please let me know when L-Pod gets back up there, because I think that'd just be really cool.
That'd be fun." So
like 3 days later,
let's remember the date.
It can't be 3 days if it's 1,000 miles, and they only do like 100 a day.
Yeah. So
next week sometime.
Yeah. So let's pay attention to our buddies up north, or have them chime in.
Or if anyone reports them off of another part of the coast or something, Oregon coast or something.
Yep. Let's see what happens.
Or they just come right back down. I'm here.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm back now. I don't mind seeing you again.
I'm seriously about to drive up Salmon Islands tomorrow. Dude, come on. They're watching the J-Pod today.
Yeah, that day we had them. Actually, I was talking to some colleagues up north, and they're like, "Oh, we're watching J-Pod right now."
Yeah,
like,
they
cool.
had residents while we're watching residents down here.
Yeah.
How tough is your life, Slater?
Sorry, I like whales.
You like whales too?
I'm just a traveling man, dude.
Let's be friends.
Oh, man.
Now, if only I could just go back and forth, like Salmon Islands, Monterey, maybe LA sometimes, but mainly just Monterey and Salmon Islands, like just all year long.
Pop out to Hawaii for breeding season.
I need to get like a plane pass, like a bus pass, but like a plane pass.
You need to talk to Elon Musk about a personal drone.
Yeah, seriously.
Fly you around. Like, look, I already have my drone license. Like, can I just fly myself around?
So, have you gone through all your L-Pod pictures yet?
I did. I didn't even get. I think I took 30-something photos.
That's it?
Maybe. You guys, I was just like freaking out, dude.
All right, I feel like a psychopath.
Yeah, you guys pressed the button like your camera's gonna die in a second, dude.
So,
but I didn't get I was just pissed off because I didn't get any saddles. Like none of my photos had saddle. Like
it was the swells that day. It was pretty rough.
I don't even know what it was.
Even some of those spy hops were like, oh, there's the tip of its.
And both spy hops, I had the drone up, which I got both spy hops from the drone, which was cool. It was cool.
You posted one of them, right?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
There is rumor that there might have been additional pods there, so I think we're gonna have to go over our photos more and have our buddies from up north, the experts, who can quickly ID these animals, confirm that for us.
Yeah, I talked to some people today that were here that saw them, and they didn't see any. So far, they hadn't seen any
no.
K-Pod.
Yeah, I kind of want to clean up some photos and send them up north and see what they have to say.
Yeah.
So cool.
All the ones I sent up north instantly were L-Pod.
Have an L-Pod? Okay, perfect. Yeah, I got 1,000 photos to go through.
Are you kidding me?
No.
You know what's funny is in that live.
You feel like a psycho.
Dude, I literally wish you could see how many photos. I have the memory card here. I think there's like probably 30. And there's like a photo of like a Bella.
That's why I was in the office this morning so early, because I wanted to use the intranet to upload all 1,000 photos.
Oh my god!
But I didn't. Also, if you think about it, like so many dorsals came up at one time that like you're getting a lot of.
Yeah, I was counting. I got like 8 up at one time. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. From the drone, there was like 14, I think. And one section. And
really?
On the other side of the boat, there was 8.
That's so awesome.
Wow.
That was 25 or so right there.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I was so curious. At one point, you remember how they went through that school of anchovies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
I'm getting a lot of questions like, were they feeding? I was like, well, I don't know. I didn't see anything obvious.
No, they were going.
Well, there could have been salmon underneath the anchovies.
Exactly.
It's not like they stopped though. Like
they just breezed right through it.
They just went.
They went right through it. And they never zigged and zagged like our tees. They just like literally headed north.
If anything, they like went closer to each other and then away from each other.
Yeah,
closer
exactly.
to each other and away from each other.
Yeah, but not that zigzag stuff like they're
No,
trying to
not
lose
like-
us.
They might have been eating before, and then they're like, okay, time to go. You know, you might have been seeing the end of playtime after they ate, and then they're like, okay, we gotta move.
Mm-hmm.
What's crazy to think about is like we were pretty close to resident like orcas. Because, you got to stay very far away from them and give them their space in San Juan Islands. But none of us had any idea in the beginning.
We had what ecotype they were. Yeah.
But once we knew, everybody kind of backed off. But, yeah, it was just kind of like, it's just kind of crazy to think. Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. So this is possibly like once a decade type of
Here's the
sighting
thing
here
about working in Monterey, right? Like we always say how awesome it is. I pet a whale the day before you guys saw this, and I was like, what the heck, you guys? I'm so jealous. Like, what?
I saw an otter eat a bird.
You know what? I was so pumped with my week. You guys, I had so much lunch feeding humpbacks from the drone.
I know. I got... Okay.
Like, every day was blue water with huge schools of anchovies with white-sided dolphins swimming through it. I literally, Katlyn, while you were gone, I got a video of a humpback whale with 2 northern right whale dolphins and a couple Pacific white-sided dolphins bow riding it. Then he turns over, meets up with 3 other whales, and then they lunge together. I was like, oh, I'm done. I can retire.
And then we have residents the next day. Take my spot on the podcast. I'm over this. I'm over you guys. Get away from me.
But I was sold. Like, that was my, like, I was like, oh, summer's made. I already got, like, northern right whale dolphins.
Summer's made. It's not even April.
Dude, so many whales are here. It feels like summer.
I saw an otter eat a bird.
Dude, you saw all the humpback lunch feeding too.
I know.
When I was out at the camp, there's no cell service, right? So I get back into range, and I finally...
God, I can't even imagine.
And then I see all your guys' posts, and I was like, dang it, I'm missing a really good week of whale watching. Then I go to the airport, and I see your Southern resident post, and I was like, I hate you guys.
I don't know. If I was... I'd be like, what, can you imagine if I was like swimming with the whale sharks in La Paz?
You would be freaking out.
And then I get out of the water, check my phone, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I just throw my phone in the water.
Like, I'm done. I'm done with this place.
Dude, that's how it happened. It's like, what, the other day, I didn't go in the afternoon, and I literally sat down on my computer, and it's 1:46, so that means they were barely leaving like the harbor. Because they leave at 1:30, right?
Yeah.
JJ calls me. He goes, "We got 9 killer whales," and I thought he was joking. So I was like, "Okay, cool. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later. Bye." And I hung up, and then like 2 hours go by, and it kind of sank in. And I called back, and I was like, "Wait, do you guys really have killer whales?" I had to go home. Margot was out in Cabo.
Yeah.
So Lacey couldn't be in the crate,
Yeah.
So I had to go home, and oh my god. And then I was like, well, you guys aren't posting any videos, so it didn't happen. And then like I checked the story on Discovery, and there's killer whales. I'm like, damn it. Whatever. Supposedly they didn't show that well, anyways, but still.
Supposedly.
Actually, they
you weren't there.
Never mind.
Were you there?
But no, I was off, but I saw the pictures.
Yeah, but was it from our boat? Some people had them before us. What is that?
My picture.
Oh, nice. Eric just made it on the news, you guys.
Woo!
Right?
Yeah, Pete Thomas Outdoors.
Yeah, Pete Thomas
cool.
Outdoors. Yeah, outdoor
Nice.
writers.
Awesome. Yeah, pretty exciting stuff. I mean, a lot of people get really worked up about southern residents in general, but then when you see them in a place like Monterey, it's like, I'm sure you guys' phones are blowing up.
It's how they feel in Newport Beach when 7 humpback whales show up or something. Because it's just not normal to see that many numbers. Or like a Brutus whale, or like ETPs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like for us to get southern residents way down here is like just insane.
Super, super, super cool. Wow. What an incredible week.
So rare stuff can happen in Monterey.
All the time.
God, every day.
You guys should, you're banned from
But it makes up for like the whole January and February when we didn't go whale watching
we
at
were all
all.
sitting here crying like,
what should we do? Make a podcast?
So bad. Yeah.
All right, well, we made a podcast, and we just all had an awesome week.
Yeah, sorry we had so much cool stuff that we saw. We didn't even answer any questions.
Yeah. We didn't need any questions.
Sorry about all the whales, people.
We talked so much. I saw Audrey the bird, and
I kind of want to see that.
You guys don't understand.
Just so I can say I've seen it.
Eric's saying that like it's the coolest thing he saw all week, but he literally was still so amped when he walked in the office this morning.
About residents?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, hey.
I know. I figured we were going to talk it out in the car ride last night to pick you up.
Dude, I was so tired.
yeah.
I was pretty tired. I slept
like,
good.
I don't even want to hear it from you guys right now.
Yeah. But great week. A lot of fun stuff happening. Learned a lot.
Oh, I forgot to not April Fool's Adam. I never said April Fool's. All day today, I was like, hold on, they're breaching the residents. And he's like, what?
No!
Hey, we can actually talk about our April Fool's stuff because technically when this thing broadcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So should I talk about mine?
No,
No.
let yours
No?
sink in
Okay.
for a while.
I want to let that one simmer.
All right, you guys. Well,
I'm not going to let it go more than a day. I'm getting so much feedback already. It's almost aggravating. I have a feeling I might get hurt.
thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. Make sure you guys follow us on the Whalenerds on Instagram. And if you guys have any topic suggestions or comments or just questions in general, make sure to send them our way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I also want to give a big old shout out to all you listeners. I've been meeting a lot of you in person, and it seems like a lot of you have actually been like kind of listening to our suggestions, especially you younger folks who want to get into the field. I've been running to a lot of you at ACS meetings and various types of events out here. So good job. Thanks for taking our advice, and you're already taking a big step by going to these events and lectures and stuff like that. So thank you, everyone, for looking up to us and listening to us, and hope you great success in your marine science futures.
Yeah, thanks for listening. It's been fun to run into you guys as we've been going along.